Hey everybody, Yankee here. As many of you probably already know, we have been fighting against a very egregious anti-gun bill here in the state of Washington titled House Bill 1504. This is the bill that, if it became law, would basically make it illegal for anyone who isn't a one percenter to own a firearm. You are going to have to show that you were wealthy to exercise your Second Amendment rights, because you are going to have to do one of two things. You are either going to have to buy an insurance policy for every firearm you own, one policy for each gun, not one policy that covers each gun, but one policy for each gun that, by the way, doesn't exist. No insurance company writes policies like this, and if you talk to insurance people, they're like, we would never write a policy like this, at least not in any way that would be at all affordable. So that's really not going to be an option for anybody. So what you would have to do is option 2, which was you were going to have to make a cash deposit for every firearm you own of $25,000 into a state-held account. They controlled the purse strings, the legislature. And as you know, most people can't do that. But I want to announce today that we have actually won, because I was scheduled to testify Wednesday in front of the committee about this egregious bill, but they pulled it from the agenda because of public outcry and because of the resistance this bill was facing. You know, they were hoping to slip it through because Bloomberg gave it to them, said, here, pass this, and even if it falls under constitutional scrutiny, it'll have the effect of running a lot of the gun businesses out of the state of Washington. And if it works there, we'll do it in other states too, because he can write as many checks as he has to as many legislatures as he has to. So they were trying to just pass it quickly, get it in, get it under, but the outcry against it was so severe because people were making it public what it was. You know, they love to hide these things under words like financial responsibility. You know, people go, yeah, if you own a gun, you should be a responsible person. But really what it was you can't own a gun if you're not ultra wealthy. And when people realized that, they balked at it, as they should. And this is a huge victory. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, is it really a victory? It never got passed into law, so it never hurt anybody. Well, that's when you want to beat these things. I know the NRA, etc., likes it differently. The GOA, the NRA, they like when the law's passed, because then they get to fundraise off of them, and it's something in a state they don't live in, so it doesn't affect them, so they want it to pass so they can make money off of it. But when you should really defeat these things is when they're in this stage, the larval stage. And that's what happened. Even Democrats were flooding these politicians with things saying, I am a legal voting Democratic person here in the state of Washington. I own 2 guns. Does that mean I got to put $50,000 in a state account that's controlled by you people who have shown you can't use money responsibly? And when the answer is yes, they're like, no, I can't support this. And these people got enough pushback, these people in Olympia that, like I said, are owned by Bloomberg, the Bloomberg foundations, every town. They write this legislation. They just hand it off. It's passed into the committees, and then they vote on it, and they hope no one pays attention. And you know it's every town legislation because it's basically written on every town stationery. It couldn't be more egregious that it was directly from the special interest groups. And in this case, they had to say, it doesn't matter how much money you've paid us, we can't defend this even in the early stages. It's so egregious, it's going to get us voted out of office. We probably never would get voted for again if we pass this. So they had to say, we can't go through with this. And that is a huge victory. We beat this where it should be beaten, not 6 months after it goes into effect when it already ran all the businesses out of the state. So I just wanted to make this point today for all those people that are out there like saying, oh, we never win anything, so why fight? We win all the time. I know a lot of you are younger or older and bitter and don't realize it. Things are so much better now than they were years and years ago. And that's because we fought. In the 70s and 80s, we didn't enjoy nearly the rights we own now. The rights we have now are far better than the ones we had before when it comes to firearms rights. So you're wrong. We do win. And this is another example of how you win. Sometimes you just have to shine the light of day on some of these things that they try to get away with. And this is a perfect example of how desperate they're getting, that their new legislation is this bad, that they can't even sell it to their own side. So this is a great victory, like I said, and it's also a perfect example of why you fight, when you should fight, why you should get involved, why you should pay attention, and how we're actually making a difference when it comes to gun rights in this country. Because like I said, it's better now than it ever has been, and thanks to people standing up like the Second Amendment Foundation, Dan from Sporting Systems, and all the other people involved, this is at least one more bill that we will not have to fight after it becomes a law.